just hearing about the code enforcement, and I would like, I mean, I'm just getting educated about it. I don't really understand it, what's happening, the implications of it, but what's your take?
Well, my take on it is that it's got a lot of people very worried. And it's again a part of this punitive aspect of county government, selective enforcement. There's this feeling that it instills this feeling of lack of trust in our government. What are they doing? That's what people are asking. Who brought them there? Why are they doing it this way? Why do we have sheriffs along with code enforcement guys? There's just all this feeling of a lack of trust and concern. And my way of thinking is government should not be that closed. Government should be open and transparent and let people know what the heck they're up to. If they've got concerns, let us know. And I also feel from what I've heard, and I have to look into it some more, that there's real concern among people that the sheriff's department has to come along on a code enforcement call. Because according to the code enforcement officer, I went to a meeting at the Healy Senior Center the other night. According to the code enforcement officer, Jeff Connors, who was at the Woods Ranch, I think he was, or maybe up in Oak Ridge, the sheriffs like to explore. That is a direct quote. So it's like, well, we brought them along, but we don't know what they're doing. We've got to do our job, but they're out there looking. And so it's kind of providing a way for the sheriff's department to go about doing other things. So it's almost like it's a ruse. And I think that barely scrapes legality, to tell you the truth.
Yes.
It certainly scrapes ethics, ethical treatment of people. So I want to follow that. I've talked to, because I can't help myself, this is how I do it. I talk to everybody involved. And I did talk to the code enforcement guys. Supposedly, or at least this was what they first told me, this was somehow a fall down from an original investigation of an oil spill, of something of that nature. So they were in the area, they saw this other thing, they saw the building, they got the warrant to go check out the building. I saw the warrant and it's very dry. It allows for forcible entry and all of these things. So it just seems like a very unfriendly way to go about getting people to follow the regulations. And I will say that there's going to be a meeting, I think on the 4th of April in Garberville, sponsored by the Civil Liberties Monitoring Project, and I believe that the sheriff may be there and some of these others, so that might be a place to find out more.
Did they have an answer for why they need to have a surprise inspection for code enforcement? I mean, what are you going to do, tear down the house before they get there? No, I mean, did they say, is there some reason they can't call you and tell you that they're going to come and inspect your structure?
Well, you know, what I would say is we might find out a lot more by going to that other meeting, because these are all valuable questions, you know. And that's my point. There's confusion, and I think that clarifying it and making it clear to people what is going on would be a good first step on the part of code enforcement, the sheriff's department, the planning department, and everybody else involved. Let's just put it all out in the open and tell people what it is they're going to deal with. I understand, but I can't swear to it, that they seem to indicate that people would get forward notice and then wouldn't answer to them. I don't know if that was the case.
I think he said two things. That they would make an attempt to give you notice, give you several weeks to respond, and it would be written. But that they like to go on, you know, on a surprise because they see different things. And then when he was asked the question you just asked, it was about sewer lines and you know, that kind of stuff. Not that we could hide our house.
Right, yeah, that's
or your septic tank.
Yeah.
I
recall one of the sentences was,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
They're just so, it's just so far-reaching is what is so concerning to me. I mean, you've mentioned the marijuana cultivation aspect of it, but our homes are sort of being threatened.
Yeah. This is what came out, and this is what I want to do as supervisor. I want to get to the point where we actually get some transparency in there. I want to get to the point where instead of people being worried about this monster, this monolith up in Eureka that can choose to come to your house whenever they please, that we actually could make it a much more user-friendly system, because nobody wants to violate the law in that regard. You know, I mean, people came here, they build their houses, they want to live here in peace. They don't want to be, you know, bucking the system, but the system bucks them a whole heck of a lot. I've been at the Planning Commission. I have listened to people from long-time ranching families who are now building structures without a permit because it's too user-unfriendly.
Yes.
You know? And so you have to make the system friendly so that people can go by the systems. If you make it so unfriendly that people don't make it. I mean, that's happening in Miranda County now too. I just talked to a friend of mine who lives down there. People are doing it in Miranda.
Well,
Well, and especially when you have the assessor visit your property regularly and we pay taxes. I mean, and yet this home is not legal. Or, I mean,
No,
it's not making a lot of sense.
I think it all goes back to better supervision at the county level. It all goes back to the county having a better approach, a better interface with the people. And if there's anything I can do to make that the case, I certainly will, because that is my focus as a human being. That's what I've been doing for the past 17.5 years. Let's see what the real story is. Let's be informed so that we can in fact, move forward.